It's no secret that I don't like the micro-series. In fact, I really hate the micro-series. And I've been procrastinating on reviewing it. I guess I should stop doing that. After all, I dealt with some of the worst cartoon episodes ever made, so I shouldn't be afraid of diving back into this. But here's the problem. It's not that I find the comics bad because they do something repulsive, but because I find them boring. Most of them tend to pull an Apple family reunion. What can we do with Applejack? I know, let's have her plan a family reunion because she does stuff like that all the time. What can we do with Twilight? She lives in a library, so let's put her in a library. Or herpty-derpty-doo. To be fair, the Twilight issue is a bit more than that. Keywords, a bit. Twilight is nervous about a test. The test happens to be helping a librarian. Spoilers, it's some odd plan to get Celestia's favorite author out of retirement or something. So in essence, it's the plot of Finding Forrester. Yeah, actually, that's pretty much it. It's Finding Forrester without any of the charm, heart, or humor. Speaking of humor, is there any joke in this thing that's not a random reference? Haha, she's talking about the Twilight book series. It's a thing from somewhere else, get it? Seriously, every other joke in this issue is just quantifying the names of books. That's literally all there is to it. The art is often wonky and uses strange styles. Everything works out because Twilight lied to the librarian about there being a replacement for her. And the moral is that friends are good. Isn't that what the show's about? Twilight's issue is a definite skip. Originally, this review was only supposed to cover the first issue, but that's literally all there is to talk about with the first issue. So, let's move on to the next one and see if I can cover all the main 6 micro-series issues in this video. The Rainbow Dash issue starts with her at a sporting competition. Yeah! Herpy-derpy-derp, let's put Rainbow Dash in a sporting competition because she does that stuff all the time. Where she's pulling off a sonic rain boom. Didn't we already do this? I think it might have been the point of an actual episode at some point. Oh, it's different this time because she has an electric guitar, for some reason. And she gets stopped by a cloud. This cloud is full of voices that feed off of Rainbow's sadness. A cloud that feeds off of sadness. Meanies, Rainbow? Really? That's something that Pinky or Fluttershy would say. And also, this panel seems really off. So yeah, this issue is about Rainbow Dash fighting off a cloud that feeds off of negative emotions. It seems really out of character for Rainbow to let the cloud's words take hold. It seems that this conflict would be much better suited to Fluttershy. I have 2 main gripes with this issue. I mean, besides showcasing Rainbow Dash without her cocky attitude because a cloud got inside her head. And not to mention that it's about Rainbow fighting a goddamn cloud. The first one is the stupid dialogue. This is more frustrating than the time I had to clip your toenails, dangerous like eating a sandal, or dangerous like splitting your infinitives. What the hell? I want, so badly, to punch whoever wrote that tripe. My other problem is its distinct lack of subtlety. And I'm not even talking about the moral, which quite frankly is hammered in. I'm talking about its humor. The fandom nods are more blatant than Equestria Girls, and that 20% anything got old by the 3rd time that they did it. I really can't get over the fact that it's Rainbow Dash trying everything in her arsenal to fight a cloud. Oh, I'm sorry. It's later revealed to be the plot of Cloud Gremlins, because why the hell not? It's obviously got a moral of perseverance, which is admirable, but they hammer it in way too damn hard. Even if the moral was the slightest bit more subtle than the humor, the dialogue alone makes this edition garbage. It's another one that I can't recommend. If you want to see this plot done correctly, watch the Courage episode, The Tower of Doctors Are Lost. And by the way, since when did the ponies have a television news program? The Rarity issue is often known as the best of the micro-series. And yeah, it's pretty damn good. Rarity is overworked, so she goes on what she thinks is a spa treatment. When she gets there, she finds out that it's run by hippies that force her to do a bunch of manual labor. She ends up learning to put her own discomfort aside to see the problems of others. I'm not entirely sure that was a moral that she had to learn, but whatever. It's got a good story, some decent humor, and some continuity nods that don't hammer you over the head. At times, it seems like it's taken from other Rarity episodes, particularly suited for success in Sweden Elite, but the story itself seems original enough to not warrant any outrage. Yeah, the micro-series seems to like to carry on the trends of the show, such as never giving Rarity a bad episode, or having a song in an otherwise mediocre episode. Yeah, you heard me when I said song. We'll get to that. I did think that maybe the micro-series was picking up, but then we got hit with the Fluttershy issue. While Twilight's bored me to tears, and Rainbow's had me groaning at its stupidity, Fluttershy's legitimately pissed me off. Guess what? Fluttershy has to stand up for herself. Where have I heard that one before? How about every Fluttershy episode ever? Alright, let's be as fair as possible. Fluttershy wants to enter an art competition. Apparently knitting is a secret passion of hers. She enters the art competition, and most of the common ponies are praising her art, which to the audience is massive and beautiful. Along comes a pretentious, caustic critic pony, who kinda reminds me of someone come to think of it, and he gives it a lashing using fancy words that don't amount to anything, not even nitpicking. And Fluttershy learns to disregard criticism if she can keep doing her passion. Oh, you are a riot, microseries! But no, that is one of the worst morals of the entire series. It's in the bottom 5. First of all, that critic is a straw man. This is the first time that the series has used a straw man, and it better damn well be the last. If you want to teach lessons, do not use a straw man, ever. Fluttershy microseries, do you know what the purpose of criticism is? It's not for snide, pretentious assholes to boost their own ego, as you seem to believe. Criticism exists, 1, to tell the consumer what they're getting into, and 2, to help the artist get better. Here's the thought. What if the issue made Fluttershy actually bad at art? Instead of making something wonderful, she made something completely awful, but she still thought that it was wonderful. First of all, the current story would totally fall apart. Seriously, imagine the entire story if Fluttershy's art was obviously terrible. If she took that lesson to heart, then her art would never get better, and she'd be worse off for it. Secondly, she, and by extension the audience, can learn that there are certain kinds of criticism that you should listen to, and certain kinds you shouldn't. You should disregard the pretentious assholes, and focus on the ones who actually try to help you improve your craft. Or Fluttershy could learn that when someone is critiquing your work, they're not critiquing you, and you shouldn't be nervous about it. But no, she learns don't listen to your critics, they're all assholes. Just skip this one. 2 left, and half the main 6 issues are garbage! The Pinkie Pie issue is actually my favorite of the first 6. For starters, it has the best art of the first 6 issues. Everything is bright and colorful and comfortable on the eyes. It stars Pinkie Pie, obviously. She learns that her idol, a clown by the name of Poniachi, is going into retirement, and she tries to find a way to keep him in clowning. The message is phenomenal, that there's always a way to stay involved in what you love doing. Although for a story about a clown, the comedy itself is a bit lackluster. But the story and the art style more than makes up for it. Yeah, I can recommend this one. And let's end this off with Applejack. A goodie! An Applejack story in a series that I find mostly boring to begin with. The conflict is, to be quite frank here, stupid. There's a monster replacing all of the apples with squash. Because, get this, he's the Sasquatch. Just give me a break. Applejack decides to hunt down this creature, and she ignores help from her family. Now where have I heard that before? Oh yeah, that happens in Apple Family Reunion. So no, this issue isn't exactly pulling an Apple Family Reunion, more so ripping it off. Well, that and Moby Dick. Yeah, we've already gotten to that point. The point where they're ripping off a rip-off in order to tell an Applejack story. It cannot be this hard to tell a good story with Applejack. Hell, it's so much of a rip-off they even have Applejack sing a song in a comic book. That is the most stupid thing that I've ever heard. Yes, I know that Pinkie sung a song in her issue, but she was singing it to someone, and breaking into song is something that Pinkie does. Applejack's just singing to herself for no reason whatsoever. By the way, it wouldn't work as an actual song either. First of all, some of those rhymes get really painful. Secondly, notice the meter? Each line has only 5 syllables. Most actual songs have 7 or more. If someone tried to sing this, they would have to slow the tempo down way too much for it to sound remotely pleasing. Honestly, the art is its only saving grace. It's almost as good as Pinkie's issue, and it would probably be better if there was a little more variety. Unfortunately, not even the art could save this one. And that brings us to 4 out of the main 6 issues being garbage. Actually, that doesn't sum up my feelings towards the series properly. And to do that, let's do a recap. I find the Twilight issue the worst. It has less plot than the Cutie Pox, its reference humor is worse than Double Rainboom, its art frequently looks juvenile, and the moral is the purpose of the whole damn series. Then comes the Fluttershy issue, which uses a straw man to teach a broken moral, hoisted only by a contrived plot. The Rainbow issue has the worst dialogue of anything Friendship is Magic related. Anything Friendship is Magic related. And it has all of the subtlety of cancer. The only reason it's not the worst thing ever is because the other 2 exist. If these 3 were episodes of the show, they would make my bottom 5. And Applejack's would make my bottom 10 for having a horribly recycled plot, and frankly a ridiculous concept. It almost seems like a horrible parody rather than anything else. Now the other 2, the good ones. How good exactly are they? Let me put it this way. They aren't good enough to justify the existence of the other 4. For what it's worth, at least the art keeps getting better, and I am at least willing to review the rest of the issues, because why not? It's not like I can give suggestions to how the series can improve because of the 4 that failed. They each failed in vastly different ways, and each of them has different writers.